I jump in, I get initiations, it's SK, it's ES, this is what's going to control the game, and VP's right behind him on his coattails. Na'Vi needs to just step up the pace and keep up.
I would agree, and I think they're getting there. They just are on the way. I think their team coordination is getting better. I think their strategies are improving a little bit. There's a possibility I could see Na'Vi striking at like the tier 1.5 team area, and maybe can reliably get around 8th place in a tournament. Would be really impressive.
We should also flag as well, we talk about like the swap between these two players, but you also had LeBron who joined into Na'Vi. So Na'Vi, like changing out one player who's your floor, your initiator, that's okay, but you're also switching your offlaner. So like, how does this creates a new challenge for Na'Vi?
Yeah, I think LeBron's done really well, though. I think he looked maybe a little shaky at Katowice, but I think since then he's been playing pretty impeccably for his role. So I think Na'Vi's in a decent place. It's going to be really hard beating VP for them. Yeah, but maybe there'll be some fun tilting moments, maybe some all chat that we won't understand. I'm really looking forward to the game. I'm
hoping, as far as the draft goes, which we're into right now, that we actually get like just almost that unbridled aggression, like get Dendi on that quick momentum style hero. Get him fighting. Have Crystallize on the stable but team fighting hero as well. But we're getting underway, and there is no surprise. We're mentioning it just before. Rogers SK. He was a highlight pick for Virtus.pro in Katowice, and it'll be the same right here.
Yeah, his initiation is really good. Simply put, his laning is solid. He sets up really important team fights in the late game. He basically accomplished that for his team consistently. Any hero that has a stun, I have faith in Roger playing it.
So now, would you cry like if a Dazzle pick came for Roger?
Just don't. There's no way that would ever happen. I would definitely go to solo, and yes, I would. I think just talking about it hurts me. I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense.
Even think about it. Like, you just
give him a Nyx.
You just give solo the disruptor anyway, because he'll play disruptor time and time again with the SK. Like,
that's true.
And that for me is the other support hero, which I'm expecting Virtus.pro to either grab in this early phase and keep their cores hidden.
Even Disruptor, I'm fine with with Roger playing. I think he's absolutely going to be capable in that as well. Obviously, has lots of playmaking potential, be in the right place, the right time, kind of stuff. So a very easy 5 hero here. Very likely going to be LeBron playing it. Ban wise, typical cores are out. Razor and Gyro has been pretty successful, especially Gyro. Gyro's really streaking hard at this tournament, I feel. Chen out of the game. Basically, very few supports actually banned. So that means Bane is in the game as well. Elder Titan was also banned. Maybe a Witch Doctor is possible. Give them some strong dual lanes, early game stuff. Feel like that hero kind of favors both teams.
Yeah.
But maybe not now, since there's a Disruptor, maybe a more normal 4 position.
Well, they're going to go for their core instead, so Death Prophet in the first phase, they'll secure her.
Dendi's been playing this a few times. I feel like they've done it at least one of their games so far. And I think he's been pretty successful on the hero, actually. I think I like his play style around it. It works out nicely, trades well mid lane, transitions to good team fights and stuff. I think that's maybe something that Na'Vi was kind of missing in the past, was kind of like an overwhelming hero that's good at pushing towers while also laning, while also team fighting, and Death Prophet really hits that well.
Dendi ran it yesterday, so they ran Life Sealer, Doom, Death Prophet, Witch Doctor, and Tidehunter against Vega yesterday.
Yeah, that was a cool draft. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but they get the Disruptor, Death Prophet to begin with today, and Virtus.pro. So at least, like, do you actually worry about this when you reveal your Death Prophet this early up? So Virtus.pro, after one pick, can now potentially counter, in a way, Ancient Apparition.
A is definitely good against Death Prophet. I wouldn't say it's like the hardest counter, but it's good. And I would say that Death Prophet does have some counters, yes, but I think she's also just a really strong jack of all trades, I guess is how I would describe her. Her itemization can be very diverse as well. Maybe not very diverse, but can alternate a little bit depending on what you need. It's definitely going to be a Yule's game for her. Maybe she's going to want some magic resistance, something like that. But I don't think it's that big of a deal to pick her in the first phase at all.
Okay.
She's good enough at laning against almost all heroes, and anybody that's a real big threat, you can ban them in the second phase.
I'm interested to see goodbye, Broodmother.
Yes.
Dendi is not taking the risk on that. Because I was wondering, like, who would be your second phase bans? We had Morphling stepping up more to the plate. Like, you take out the Gyrocopter, Morphling's been the other unsung hero, or not the other, he's been very sung, one position appearing the last few days.
Terrorblade is obviously still very good. VP used it effectively yesterday in their match against, shoot, who they play. It was kind of a close match.
Against LFY.
Yeah, against LFY. There was definitely periods of time where they got too far behind, where it looked like they would lose the game. They lost a couple crucial team fights. ultimately Power 3 no problem, and there's the Terrorblade ban for Na'Vi.
And the ever-popular for CIS teams, Naga.
Yep,
take it out.
Would work perfectly with Disruptor, let them reset and protect Death Prophet. Great ban there.
So other heroes who need to actually have some control from Na'Vi, that's what you need for their roaming support for Lil.
5 seconds remaining.
I think they should be worried about their tri-lane, essentially. Like, yes, roaming support, but it also has to fit into a way where if they get dual-laned or tri-laned by AA Sand that they're still going to do all right. Because Disruptor definitely has some weaknesses. I feel like he's very easily pressurable. He can't really stop people from killing him very well unless he commits a glimpse.
Yep.
So I think that's maybe something to keep in mind for VP.
One hero which actually got let through, maybe you won't get him now because you've already got so many supports on the field, but the Rubik pickup.
Yeah, it's possible. Side. Rubik's been a little popular.
I don't know if you'd want to run him as a 4 though. Like if you want to have someone a little bit more like bashy instead of just having telekinesis grab.
Beefier 4 position.
Yeah,
definitely Ogre.
Ogre. Like okay, if you want the beef.
Probably not. I don't think Ogre's the best support right now by any means. Not Jakiro. Tusk is a possibility, I think, especially against like Epicenter and Ice Blast. Could certainly work. But it's not as effective to pick Tusk so early, because Tusk is better when you know what their mid hero is, so you know. I mean, I thought Slardar, he's a beefy support because he has really good armor, but that hero is just not played right now.
Are you actually, like, do we instantly assume this is going to be the Lil Slaughter? He's done it many, many times before. Not the Lil Slaughter, he's changed teams. Yeah, Lil Slaughter. Or would it actually be General? Would it be the 3-position Slaughter? I don't know if that's all viable.
Slardar is just not a great hero right now. He was good for so long and seen as so useful that he just got little nerf after little nerf. I think one of his big issues is he needs a lot of levels to in any way resemble a core, actually. Like a hero like Slardar's playstyle is essentially out of favor right now in that he used to be consistently an offlane hero. You'd eventually get some levels, pick up a Blink Dagger eventually, but this whole like delay in Blink Dagger timing, the fact that without Blink Dagger he sometimes has issues, it's kind of hit him a little hard. With that said though, he can actually dual lane is one benefit of him because he does have high armor and because he can use sprint to have some kind of a lane.
Hey, he can move quickly through the lanes, like when he's inside the river. Like he can move a lot faster now.
That's a really good point.
And a clockwork for Virtus.pro.
I'm just not sold on it yet, I guess. He can amplify damage with his ultimate, which is going to make Death Prophet ult do a lot more. And yes, he can like set it for Disruptor. I think Slardar is an okay hero, but he is not proven in the pro scene right now. He has been virtually untouched for a pretty decent margin.
Clockwork pickup, which instantly flags the Shadow Fiend for no one. I'm curious why they actually got the Clockwork against the Disruptor.
You can glimpse him back, but I think it's okay as a whole. Especially if you walk into melee range against him, catch him in the cogs, he glimpses you and you just hookshot back in. I've seen it a couple times, it works out nicely. And it's also a really good way to play against Slardar, I think. Because if you catch Slardar, he can't really get out, and it's pretty effective against Death Prophet, same thing. Put cogs down, prevent his movement.
But now you get the life stealer up, so this at least gives us a little bit more insight about why the Slaughter pick is there, because they needed a delivery system.
Yeah.
And Slaughter becomes that, no surprise at all. After Clockwork gets picked, that no one's SF follows up.
Definitely agree with what you said about Slardar life stealer. It may be a little telling there, but it's definitely a hero that Na'Vi does well with. That's also a hero that's really good against heroes like AA. And Clockwork as well. There's just not a big threat there. Like Lifestealer essentially in this game can do whatever the heck he wants unless Sand King is still alive after Rage ends and can burrow strike him, or if maybe SF can potentially ulti him. So
it's still the jump in there. Like as you said, like Slardar slow on the Blink Dagger. So like doesn't this Slardar need to have like Blink and 4 stuff? Doesn't this actually force him to be that 3 position for Na'Vi?
He would love to have both items, yes, but he doesn't necessarily have to. It's more like, can Lifestealer do bombs with Slardar pre-Blink Dagger? And he can, especially if you go like 4 points in sprint. Like the speed at which you can run through the river and set up kills is pretty straightforward, especially if you can get on top of a Shadow Fiend.
You just need like that tiny last pickup so you can just toss in the infested Slardar and get the initiation that way.
Pick 2 heroes to make Lifestealer bomb work.
Exactly.
No tiny, unfortunately. Very bad in this game. CK ban was good. Would have been really good against Lifestealer. It's more minus armor that would have stacked nicely with Shadow Fiend. The stun with Ancient Apparition is really solid too. But it's definitely a very good ban from Na'Vi.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had enough clearance for it either.
So this would be something that's like high physical damage, probably. That's good at a single target damage. I'm actually thinking of something like PA right now, surprisingly. PA works well with Ancient Apparition, lots of physical damage. Evasion is going to be fantastic against Lifestealer, against Slardar. There's not that many burst nukes from Na'Vi. It's basically just like Disruptor with her ultimate, and maybe like a full Death Prophet rotation with a lot of focus and a silence. So
I'm concerned then the only really big tower pusher you got then is the Shadow Fiend until PA gets really big later on.
But I think that's okay. It depends on what build no one goes, but I assume he's going to go things like Drum SNY. I don't know if it was his SF yesterday that did it. Might have been in different teams, but Drum SNY is pretty good for overall movement speed and making you a decent right click, or maybe it makes you weak against Lifestealer, but he can definitely hit towers with it, is my thought. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a PA, I suppose, but I feel like it's going to be something, it has to be something along the line, and when I think single target physical damage, it's always the first tier I think of.
Oh, we're wrapping up the draft.
That's
so
certainly better.
Juggernaut, the last one.
So lots of physical damage. Omni Slash versus Lifestealer definitely works. He's got spin. If things get a little dangerous, it's actually by far the better pick.
Yeah.
He gets glimpse, he spins. If the team fight gets crazy, you put down the healing ward. Same damage.
I'd be worried about his life as long as he can dispel the mist. But if he gets amplified and they start going on that Juggernaut, I'm worried he doesn't have enough life to survive.
Yes.
And Na'Vi last pickup will be Lina.
But again, in those circumstances, he probably has a solution. Just spinning, healing ward, or team backup. Like it basically has. It doesn't have potentially as much offense, but he can rely on his skills to actually get stuff done.
We're going old school. This is a Dendy Lina. This is a Dendy Lina, a general Death Prophet, and then Crystallized Lifestealer as far as the cores go. So, high nuke damage. Who was it we're talking about yesterday? It was Kyle. Kyle, who likes to go Swindle Melons. Who likes to go for the Lina, just the quick pop style heroes. But it's an old thing of CIS, back when God was playing it almost exclusively in the mid. Dendy did the same type of thing.
It's really fun to watch. It's definitely good against Shadow Fiend. He's going to have some trouble at the start because Shadow Fiend will have a bunch of extra souls.
Yep.
But this may give Na'Vi some space to actually control all the bounty runes at least. So maybe they'll get a little bit of a gold boost from that.
It's really good pop damage too. So now they've actually got like the ability just to nuke somebody down and move on very, very quickly.
Yeah, which they were lacking with their previous 4 picks for sure.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting. Probably Yule Scepter is what he'll aim for. He's certainly vulnerable to things like Clockwork and Sanking, though. So Dendy might have a hard time if he gets dived on and has a little bit of underfarm.
He doesn't have that many supports too, which instantly counter it. This is the downside. This is what I was thinking. Like heroes like Rubik who work well against Clockwork, for example. But it's the fact that Denny's going to get jumped, and then you glimpse the hero away. Shadow Fiend will kill you in the time the glimpses are happening. Lil, you'd have to commit by jumping in with his crush. But yeah, I'm interested to see like if Na'Vi can get an early kill. Like they're waiting and now they'll smoke, but they know that VP is gonna be really late coming out of the base. They're doing this. So it's the Cog soul farm. So you got 9 souls into the Shadow Fiend as they're moving out already. So Na'Vi just need a good target. Pasha's already moved up north and put down the Observer Ward. But if Na'Vi hang closer towards that tier 2 tower in the mid, they could potentially get more, but the pings are coming out, so Pasha feels it, Pasha knows, and Lil actually breaks the smoke by coming down, reveals the positioning.
Why did he do that? Why did he do that?
I really don't know.
He must have misclicked or something, I don't know, man. That was weird.
Yeah.
Runs low ground, maybe he didn't expect to break the smoke. Oh, I think he tried to ward, okay, that's what he tried to do. Tried to move to the low ground, put the Observer Ward between the towers, but he made a mistake and the smoke broke. Maybe it's because there were heroes there, and that the smoke broke earlier than he anticipated, so then he ran away. So that must have been why.
Well, it's still going to be a 2-2 rune, unless Ramsey can make the foot race with Lil, and he actually does. So it's actually a 3-1 bounty rune early on.
It's not too bad.
So gold advantage, you got 12 souls in the Shadow Fiend. Roger's going to babysit the mid lane with the cogs, and if he can just burn off that initial mana from Dendy, there's really almost no harassment. No one's already sitting with 46 plus 26 damage.
I mean, she still has a really long attack range, so she'll be okay here, but she definitely has far less significant damage. No one's sitting at like 72 damage already, it's crazy.
Well, it helps when he's able to kill off the cogs too. That helps. That's nice.
Yeah, definitely a big difference here.
Yeah. Pasha might have a harder time up on this top lane. Crystallizer just stay up in his face. With the help of the Disruptor, this SK should be semi-zoned. So they don't have any detection, so if he wants to, he can sit inside the Sandstorm. They got nowhere to pull him out.
That's a 1K MMR strat, dude. Stand in the lane at Sandstorm until you hit level 6.
Hey, you know I'm higher than that.
No, I'm just saying.
But I still use the 1K strat.
That's genuinely a 1K strat. That's like just barely higher than like Melt TA.
It's like no one brought detection. I'm good, boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone getting AoE stun? Well, right now there's only like, they got 2 AoE stuns as well as a silence. So yeah, they can pull him out in the fights.
Well, so far the Death Prophet off lane's working decently well. Lil also went pretty expensive into support items to keep himself alive. Stout Shield as well as a Windlace, so he's trying to go over there and fight solo. But thus far, Death Prophet's actually only at 1 last hit, so they're not actually last hitting solo here.
Oh, hi, Roger. Walks close range with Lil.
It's actually kind of nice that he did this dual lane mid. He did his best to basically harass Dendi. Ends up getting level 2 from it, splitting it with Shadow Flame, but I think it's worth it, because now as he roams around, he's got both Cogs and Battery Assault, and this is a completely different threat to the game than just having Cogs.
Yep. And with the Cogs, you'll keep Lil off the bounty rune, so Roger can actually claim both of these, or at least give the other one over to Solar.
Roger just padding his stats, man, denying his own Cogs. He's got a huge amount of denies right now.
He's almost got as many denies as the SF does.
Yeah,
but
incredible.
SF hasn't got many in the lane. Like, he started with, what was it, 11 denies, actually? And now he's sitting at 14.
Yeah, so that's actually incredible.
Denny's having a really good laning phase. He got the highest CS. Here comes Roger again. Denny with no mana, but Bottle just arrived. And he's going to get the Invis rune on top.
It's actually crazy. Dendy has like 10 to 15 less damage, and he has a far worse animation, and he has a longer range. I guess that's not necessarily negative, but yeah, he's doing really good against no one right now, which is incredible considering how talented no one is.
Yeah, and with no one on his signature hero. Like, in a way, I guess they're both signature heroes. Ramses, it's like they're trying to force the spin out of him, but okay, turn around for a little bit more of the Spirit Siphon just to salve up.
I guess the other difference, though, is that it's a lot easier for Lina to harass a Shadow Fiend than vice versa, since her range is higher, so...
Pasha's doing it. 1K strat, man. 1K strat Sandstorm.
He figured it out, dude.
he's worked out, how do I win this lane? I just sit inside a Sandstorm. He's even put it up a second point.
I mean, gotta lower the cooldown, dude. That we can do it every 26 seconds. Increase the damage. I mean, it's fine. He's basically been solo this game because Roger was in the mid lane, now in the safe lane. And this is like the most normal looking game I think we've seen in a while. And normal meaning an actual safe lane tri lane by VP. But it makes sense, right? Because if you can actually beat this Death Prophet in the lane, this is why dual lane off lanes were bad for so long. Because if you just safe tri lane and you kill these guys, then you have 2 underfarmed heroes instead of just 1.
Yeah. But at the moment, General is still getting a lot off the off lane. 12 for 1, they're splitting levels. We still haven't received our first blood. So everyone's just kind of waiting for things to erupt, but it's the farm time. Like, Crystallize is almost unkillable at this point. He's had such a great time in the safe lane. Roger can't gank until he gets a higher level. Pasha's the only one who's really just pushing the envelope a little bit more, but Denny's having the time of his life. He got the Invis rune at 2 minutes. He's now got the Arcane rune at 4. That's
a really big help.
It's a really big help, yeah. But no one's starting to get more damage into him now. He's got 20 denies now for his 21 last hits.
It's really fun to see more players go back for bottles, in my opinion. It actually is really good on interiors in the longer stages of the game. You get so much mana. I actually thought for sure that stun was going to miss.
Yeah, well, it was meant to. Roger walked back into it.
That's the next level thing, man.
But it's also the timing, too, of Dendi. Like, that was a smoke gank. He was smoking around the back of Dendi, and Dendi just backed off at the right time.
Okay. Was it a smoke? Really?
It was a smoke gank. He wrapped around.
By the time I caught him, it was already broken. But yeah, he read that perfect. Then he having a really good game. Good for him. Lil's rotating a bit too, puts another ward right behind the Shadow Fiend. Thank God all these trees are dead. I assume Dendi actually cleared these using Light Strike Array as he approached, but it just makes these games so much easier. Yeah,
there it is. Into the first stun, follow up, and Dendi has a 3 points of Dragon Slave, and that is going to be the kill going the way of Dendi. Lil, very low. Burrow Strike rotation from Pasha will get a revenge.
I was very confused. It's like, Sand King anywhere but in his lane sandstorming? Where could it be?
He was sandstorming, actually, just before that.
He was actually just sandstorming nearby. He's like, I guess I'll stop sandstorming to get this kill. It was worth it in the end. Yeah, no, Dendi's playing really well. I love the tree breaking. That was super good play against the Shadow Fiend. He's vulnerable. He's bought, like, a lot of mid players actually just skip their boots for so long. He goes full Aquila with the wand, still hasn't bought his boots. I think this might have been a circumstance where having boots could have saved him, perhaps. Make it harder for Slaughter to actually chase him down and secure that kill.
Lil watching Roger very closely, waiting for this contest of the rune. They're bringing General over. Roger does not want to walk up the hill. In fact, he can lock him in with the cold feet. Lil will be frozen. Support is there. Dendy, he'll get the kill. He may actually give a bottle charge over to Lil too after he consumes the bounty. Nope, Lil's happy just to walk away. So a trap was set and sprung.
That was really well done. Then he got there at the perfect timing, right when it looked like Lil was going to die. And the extra levels he has really pay off here. And General's creep wave is pushed in pretty heavily. He's going to be very close to level 6 now. I think Navi's pretty happy with how the game's going right now. Except for this pesky Sand King in the offlane, dude. Always safe. How do you counter this? It's impossible.
You can't counter 1K. What they need to do is actually just like rotate the lanes. So you put Death Prophet in the safe lane, get 1 point up in silence.
Oh, they glimpse him back. Okay. But he's got another Sandstorm, guys. Is this really going to work? Come on.
You sound almost triggered from this perch.
Oh, that's funny, dude. We talked about it, and here it is. That's the thing.
How do you stop him? But he's not getting as much as he probably wants out the lane. Like, the CS has definitely got it. He's at 2.6, 2.7k net worth. But Crystallize is still getting free farm on the Lifestealer, going for combat.
Yeah.
So he's got treads. He's going to go into the Armlet with a casual Blightstone, which allows him to add a lot more pressure to the tier 1 tower on top.
And any early ganks he does as well. I mean, it's going to amplify his feast damage. Just all around a good item to pick up.
Yeah. Waiting for Denny to get this pop. Now he's got Laguna Blade available. If Lil can just get a stun, obviously it requires Denny to get the initial stun.
The ballsy play by Roger here. That's actually so dangerous. Like, if he does get stunned in those moments, he dies.
Yeah.
Or gets very low. I mean, he's got a raindrop and he has a lot of HP, but certainly put in a bad situation. There it is.
If he gets stunned before he gets the cogs up. Now he goes for LeBron. The wall is up. Pass shot. Oh, they hold him inside the cogs. Crystallize wants to range through and start fighting. Yeah, he body blocks LeBron a little bit. But with the open wounds, pass shot. No Sandstorm. He can't survive. No! Okay, he's got Tranquil Boots and Burrow Strike. He's got distance.
You're just buying time for Rogers so the binding runes is all in the end very good for VP. They'll be happy with this one. Shadowfiend grabs an invis. Gonna be thinking about fighting Dendy, but
he's gonna chase him up.
He kind of can. Dendy's mana is not high enough to cast all of his spells, but
underneath the shrine, you may not want to do that.
Yeah,
wait until shrine.
He's waiting for a friend to come. There's the only reason he would stay here. So looks like
SK is on the way, but Lil's gonna scout him out, moving over. So raises, Dendy low, turns for the Line Striker Raids, gonna miss it. The Clockwork Rocket. Dendy down to 28 HP. He'll end up surviving. As friends for VP couldn't come soon enough.
Maybe no one could have committed to that, but he felt a little scared, so just ended up walking back to base, doesn't get the kill, but ultimately good for him because Dendy's gonna have to walk all the way back to Fountain, and he can resume last of the game here.
Level 3 Sandstorm stops push on top.
Of course it does, dude. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Level 4, get out of here, dude.
I was actually thinking like before I said like Crystallize, yeah, he can add some pressure towards the top lane, right? But he can't even keep his creep wave alive long enough to really hit into the tier 1 tower without taking significant damage and potentially being Burrow Striked.
This is like, he literally just walks up and casts Sandstorm. There's actually nothing to do. I don't know, this feels like a big mistake here from Navi, because I feel like if they just rotate in a, I don't know, Slardar with a Dust, or have a Dust on Disruptor and rotate Slardar in, they just get a kill.
Oh, bottom lane, Zombie Slash, bounced out to the creep wave, but it'll still be enough to kill off General. Roger combining it with Solar and Ramses to get the kill on General.
Pretty good on VP side. Last hit wise, it's going not bad for them. I mean, they're, I guess, SF's in front of the Lifestealer. Maybe does do Cogs count as a last hit? No, I guess they're a deny. I don't remember. Yeah, deny, I suppose. But either way, Shadowfiend has gotten a lot of stacks. The large cap has been repeatedly stacked by Roger so far this game. And he's doing quite well. It's like he's going to go for a Dragonlance, so he will be certainly the tower hitter this game. A little bit of a different build. We don't see that one very often for them going Hurricane Pike, but just probably because of the Lifestealer. He needs to be able to get away from Lifestealer if Lifestealer jumps on him. Yeah. And it'll work out for tower hitting anyways.
That way at least they can play the distance game against Lifestealer, because that's the way you normally counter the Lifestealer on the mid to late game. You just kite.
Yeah, like one Force Staff at an early point of the game completely changes things against Lifestealer, because a couple less deaths, maybe 2 less deaths, even if it's a support, Lifestealer is way less farm.
Lil and Dendy are on the hunt under the cover of smoke. Looking for a good target. The bottom lane is probably going to be it, but they already initiated General, doing significant damage to Ramses. He'll get the spin off, but the silence didn't last long enough with the crush on the Solo. Roger, he's going to get Light Strike to Wraith Solo. Well, it looks like Denny's been tasked to try and kill him off, while General and Lil combined together to kill off Roger. These cogs, Slaughter, he couldn't actually escape in time. Or can he could salve up. So the damage from the tower is not enough to get killed. Both supports from Virtus.pro will drop. And with Exorcism being committed from General, they had not only the damage for the fight, but also the damage for the tier 1 tower.
Not bad for Na'Vi. They did lose a lot of damage to the tower in the mid lane in the meantime. So the negatives of leaving the lane to gank against a Shadow Fiend, he's just going to instantly push your tower. So I don't think, I mean, they got a double kill, but that was just supports.
Like Ramsey's going to show himself. LeBron, he's got Storm, he wants to go for it, but then he's in trouble in the mid.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't... At this point, VP is going to be really happy with this. Like, their tower's still alive. Exorcism runs out by the time they get the kill. Mid tower ends up dying. Oh, if no one goes down, this could count for it, though.
He's got no way to get out of here, and no one knows it. General making the most of the Centaur. Now they chase after Roger. Disruptor just needs to get in range. Get a level 3 glimpse. Roger try and juke it around the trees, heading north away from Lil. Lil sprints off cooldown in 1 second time, but it's the distance for the cogs. It's off cooldown right now, so Roger, battery assault to begin with. Lil doesn't want to stick around too much for this. Just wait it out, get back into the sprint. And so the chase continues, but support's now arriving from Virtus.pro. Past the neighborhood. Roger cuts free and just keeps the run going. Yeah, but Lifestealer finally close to the distance. Open wounds and rage attacks. Roger. Oh, he's just... Okay, he's wasted time.
Yeah, I think that's why he saved cogs, because it's the best way to actually buy him a little bit of time there if things do get really dangerous. So either way, Ramses just gets a kill on the Death Prophet using the Omni Slash for that one. So that's 2 Omnis now that have facilitated DP kills. And she's got a drum picked up. She's not doing bad in terms of farm, but she's definitely very vulnerable here to Jug.
Yep.
Solo's 5.5 at the moment. Roger buying time like that. He's also almost 7, actually. So I think VP's pretty happy right now. Shadow Fiend's getting stacks in the meantime. Yes, he's died twice, but it seems like VP's as a whole happy with the rest of their lanes, how they're going.
Yep. And they're going to see if they can keep up the pressure. Smoke on Roger as well as Pasha. You got both Hookshot and Blink Dagger up and running for them. At the same time, Na'Vi's going to do the same. They're smoked up with Dendi and LeBron walking over the top of the Observer Ward. So they're seeing creeps move. So Virtus.pro are actually coming over to the camp that was aggro. Dendi will break the smoke, doesn't reply in time. Epicenter is there, LeBron, he'll get the storm out. And actually, you do not get the Epicenter. Clockwork's trapped inside the storm. It's still great for Virtus.pro. They get the kill on the mid, they get the kill on Dendi. Won't be so great for SK. The Glimpse pulling Solo back over to Crystallize, while General is trying to go solo against Pasha and Ramses. Won't happen as the rest of VP have retreated after the kill of Dendi.
Kind of felt like VP just didn't expect to see Dendi exactly there. They get the kill, obviously, but they kept running left and right to go up the hill to actually get the follow-up in there with the rest of the heroes. So it's just a bit of an awkward position to fight.
Sandstorm counted.
He interrupted it? Is that possible?
It is possible.
I mean, I saw Epicenter get interrupted in that last fight, but Sandstorm being...
The Epicenter was like on the very last second too.
Yeah, it's very nice to have that like instant AoE silence thing, that's for sure.
Okay, they're going to flash farm Dendi. He's got a regeneration rune, so everything he spends here, he'll get straight back again, but this should push him up. Not to mention the extra stacks.
Oh, and he's going to 4-staff on his side as well, kind of interesting. But he does need it against Clockwork, is usually the reason that you buy this item. But other than that, it's very atypical for Alina to pick this up.
Crystallize going to use that double damage rune to take out the bottom tier 1 tower. Fortification will slow it down. Hello, Roger. Or hello, Lil, I should say. Trying to battle around the creeps, let the creeps tank up. Oh, the hook shot.
Oh, the featured matchup battle.
Replace who?
It's the next level, dude. You miss the hook shot, dude. The moment of truth.
He didn't have the vision there. The Observer Ward was a little bit further back instead, not up on the hillside.
I mean, either way, if the enemy Slaughter support is forced to jungle a large camp to finish a Blink Dagger, I think you're winning anyway, so you don't have to be too worried. But it was pretty sick that he found him there.
You mentioned it yourself, man. It's the Slaughter. Takes forever to get Blink Dagger. Pasha using his own Blink Dagger to try and close the distance. Roger didn't have hook shot. Ramsey's been having a great time up on top. He's actually almost at the tier 2 tower.
This is really good for VP. They're actually rotating their supports down to the bot lane. Oh, they're going to find Denny though.
Oh, Denny at least had a little bit more distance, but the support can't come in time. That 4-staff to get out. General will try and get him. There's your glimpse back. And they've got friends. It's crystallized.
Huh. I mean, I really like what VP was doing there. They didn't necessarily expect to find Dendy on the way back. They get a big kill. Losing Roger for that makes it worth it. And they defend their tier 2 in the meantime. It actually takes almost no damage. So VP was way ahead of that rotation.
Oh, run
still goes well.
Run, Lil, run. Omni Slash, crystallize, tries to soak up a little bit more, but he'll just get completely soaked. In the Ice Blast of the Ancient Apparition, or will he? The armlet's up. He needs to survive. Now he can one charge and toggle again. Waiting for the cold feet to wear off. General, drum charge, wants to run forward. Dendy affected by this, but the double barrier strike from Pasha. Keeping General and Dendy at bay. Now do they find more? Pasha dodges the light strike array. Almost with ease.
4K advantage now for VP. They're making the rotations matter. Great Burrow Strike and Omni Slash there. Would have been awesome killing Lifestealer, but they were just a little short on damage. And it's going to get harder.
They're getting so much too. You look at the top 3 net worths, and they're up there a pretty long way. Lifestealer is in second, but the Juggernaut and the SF have picked up a lot on this map. And Dendy for his good laning phase, is really starting to fall behind. I say his good laning phase when he's 1-3-5 on a mid laner.
But this is the tough part. If your enemy can just stand in his lane in Sandstorm and gets like a 12-minute Blink Dagger, then Lina does become a very vulnerable hero. He's only got 980 HP right now with his Arcane Boots. And his Force Staff. Like, he's not survivable, really. Doesn't even have a Magic Wand. He went Bottle instead, which is fine. But against, like, a Sand King, this is scary. Against Clockwork, it's scary. This is the negative with the hero pick. I think he expected to get more kills on the mid lane. He did do well, but every single gank that's found him has almost all resulted in kills.
The radar just pinged. Smoke comes off. Good Zerk Ward. They see Roger in the tree line. Ice Blast is on the way down towards Roger. And, well, Glimpse, try and pull him back. Pasha, well, he'll have nothing to say in this fight. But Lil will die for it. So Clockwork for the slaughter. He's just short of his Blink Dagger still. So they brought a lot of heroes from Virtus.pro to the bottom lane to deal with this gank.
That ward was so useful, actually. Guarantees the kill on Roger and his great positioning. And then also the Glimpse follow-up on the Sand King.
They'll lose it straight away.
That's great.
It's a Sentry Ward down. This is the downside about it.
It is, yeah. I think it was definitely worth it, though. It was ultimately a good fight for Na'Vi. Buys him a little bit of time. There still needs to be Dendy making a kill happen, though, I think. He's queuing up a Bloodstone, which is a good item for Lina to just kind of snowball by casting spells constantly on neutrals. It basically doesn't matter where you farm, you're pretty much like an SF, but he's going to get caught here.
Yeah, Roger's looking for the perfect hook shot. Barrier Strike will do it, don't even need to hook him in. Just contract, Dendy, 4-star, waiting it out. General's in the neighborhood, Light Strike Array, it's actually on Roger. A little bit too deep, hook shots in close. Just to get a small stun, but with the Exorcism Spirits floating around, they weren't going to get that one. But Juggernaut, after Dendy, nothing can save him. 4-star was on cooldown. Maybe a Eul Scepter would have helped, but LeBron, nope, the Glimpse won't happen. Ramsey spin TP's out.
While farming a creep wave. He could have done it right away, but instead he was like, I'll get the next wave, guys, no problem. I want this extra 200 gold.
Missed the efficiency on range creep, but yeah.
I mean, dude, he saved Omni Slash, he saved spin, he did that in the smartest way possible, just focused on his right clicks against the hero that only has a force and had already used it.
And now they can use the Omni Slash to fight. 3-man smoke up.
So
VP
smart.
are on the hunt once more.
And they're on a BKB timing unknown right now. They're just playing so efficiently. It's great. Or they'll just turn it into a Roche attempt.
Okay.
I mean, they can do this as well. They've got 3 points in presence of the Dark Lord. That's 5/7 of a medallion.
But here comes Na'Vi. The dire scan. They felt like something was going on. Solar at the moment
There's a blink on Solar
is just dewarding. Glimpse back. They'll put the ball up. Where's the initiation? There it is. Lil has a Blink Dagger. They initiate on Solar. Roshan down to 1K. Crystalline thinks about running in, but the Colt, they block him out just long enough that he cannot get down the ramp and closer to Roshan and Roger. In he goes. The Storm Wall so quick from LeBron. So a turnaround so Crystallize can pick up the double kill.
They get a glimpse.
Epicenter. Here they go. Blink. Barrier Strike. It really only catches LeBron. The rest of Na'Vi were pulling back, but LeBron didn't get the memo.
I think both supports on both teams kind of missed the memo a bit. It felt good for no one, or for Roger there to chase because they did pick up Aegis, but as soon as he goes in, everybody commits and he just gets blown up. Very wise for Crystallize to, when he initiated, to not burn Rage was the big move. He jumps out, he just attacks AA until AA dies, because if he doesn't have Rage there, yeah, that's actually really dangerous for him with the Battery Assault chase and the ally follow-up. So both supports looking for more than they were able to chew off.
And now you got a big advantage for this Juggernaut. He may not care if he dies because they're going to burn the Aegis, the Immortal. If there's a little bit more support, they'll have to get that perfect silence out. Ramses just does the run. He's just too quick on the spin, healing ward down. Here comes your Ice Blast. Roger battling LeBron. The man to die. Burrow Strike catching out Lil. He's got a little friend inside. It's Crystallized, waiting for the right time to jump out with the help of General. They blink, crush, they pop out, and Ramses will fall. Crystallized going unstoppable. Lil's movement speed even breaks free of the cold feet effect. Huge fight for him. Hookshot in. Clockwork looking for Lil. The earn charge. It's not enough, but Pasha, he will. But how many kills are they going to continue to give to Crystallize? He's 7-0-2 now on this lifestealer. Yeah. They're making a beast to fight.
This is really dangerous too. I mean, as a whole, Juggernaut is a lot more survivable in this game and better than a hero like PA. But imagine if he did have some evasion here. Because right now, if he's amplified damage by the Slardar, Juggernaut actually dies really fast until he finishes his Manta style. Once he's got Manta, yes, he can remove amp damage. But right now against a Armlet and a Blightstone and a Sanjin Yash on Lifestealer, this guy hits super hard. It's actually really dangerous.
He took the attack speed plus the extra damage too.
Exactly. Yeah, he's gone all into as much damage as possible. He doesn't even care about movement speed. And here he is, Ramsey choosing to go back into the fight. This was the right move here, but this amplified damage lasts on him the entire fight. Lil juking around, looking for the right initiation, and here's when they finally realize it's time for Ramsey to go down. And it took 3 hits here.
Yeah, they really need that Manta.
But either way, VP's still playing extremely well. They're playing around their cooldowns, they're playing around the vulnerabilities of their opponent, but Ramsey's just slightly overestimating his ability to get out of that fight.
Na'Vi just smoked on top of the Observer Ward. So this is not what they want to have happen. They're waiting, and so is VP. Also smoked up, sitting on the hillside. Lil may blind blink this and potentially catch Roger. Roger hook shots in, goes after Lil. Crystallized bounces out, and they got the soul for Pasha. Epicenter in the backline, combining with the Omni Slash. Na'Vi, 3 dead. You're about to make it 4. Crystallized gets spun into oblivion, and Dendy, no way out. That's what VP wanted. The Observer Ward pays more than dividends. It pays interest.
No kidding. They had a ward on both sides too. They absolutely knew that stuff was coming. Once the smoke broke, they had vision of everything in the fight. And the crucial play was basically Roger jumping in immediately as soon as he saw a hero. He did not hesitate. And just going in like that and taking the focus fire of the Disruptor ulti and the Lifestealer jumping out, just bought him time for the epicenter.
That hesitation, no jump out, waited for the push in, but oh god, Pasha, Omni, yeah.
Everybody got to do something on VP's side in that fight. Yeah, but really it was Roger as well as Pasha just setting things up perfectly. Ramses comes in at the perfect moment. Like, it just made the whole fight so easy. Cogs and focus, and then a Burrow Strike on 2 heroes and an epicenter and the easiest Omni Slash. Really good play there, and that's gonna push them into a Manta style now.
Yeah, not even just Manta. Like he's got enough for the Mithril Hammer. This BKB and Manta, like that. It's the dream scenario for Virtus.pro. All these items they were missing for the team fights, they now have the money for them.
And they're both doing this actually. Both Shadow Fiend and the Juggernaut are going Manta BKB. Very defensive. I would say moderately low damage, but it's going to allow them to ensure that they don't get stunned, they don't get silenced, that even if they get amp damage, they can remove that and still have BKB, for example.
Smoke gank is coming in once more from Virtus.pro. Lil's going to break it. He needs to get that crush off instantly, but Ice Blast gets the kill. They are trapped inside of the cogs. LeBron had the Static Storm available, but didn't know what was behind him. So Na'Vi decides not to commit. The vision on the hillside belongs to Virtus.pro now in the bot lane.
And I think they're pretty happy with this kill here. Dead Slaughter for 20 seconds means more tower pressure. No one can wail into these buildings here. And very likely can they kill the tier 2. Unless Na'Vi tries to join up and...
No, Na'Vi's going for trade. Like, they're looking for the tier 1 tower, but at this point it's the tier 3 tower that Virtus.pro can go for. Pasha, 4 staffs up the side. He's ready for the Blink epicenter. They want this fight. You've got BKB ready to go for no one. The man is there for Ramses. They've got what they need for the fight. Fortifications burnt. A quick Eul Scepter from General. There's no follow-up into this, however. And then an Infest. They should have seen that. Yeah, the ping came out. They know that Lil has a package.
I mean, that's the most that they can get out of that, for sure, just to be safe. Tons of damage dealt to the tier 3 tower. On Na'Vi doesn't even get the tier 1 in return. Just everything going well for Na'Vi, or for VP. And remember, that only started from a Slardar kill. That's all that took. 1 star kill, they get a tier 2, they get half the damage on tier 3. Na'Vi gets nothing in return.
Oh, Lil. He just wants a nice pick. Going under the shrine, they get an Observer Ward down. No one's going to be visible for this. It's funny because Lil checked Roshan before, but he won't spawn for another 2 minutes at least.
Shadow Fiend queuing up his next item, Butterfly. So a natural progression here, especially if you go for an item like Manta.
Hello, Spirit Vessel.
They'd love to find a hero, but there's just nobody on the map. VP's playing too safe right now. They know that, especially in a moment of desperation like that, if somebody gets really behind in a moment, it's very common for them to group up and pop a smoke to look for some kind of a catch or a pickoff.
VP are not obliging for any kind of fight just yet. Without the smoke cover.
Dude, there's so many big items on VP. Like, Pasha's got Horse Staff and Yule Scepter in addition to his Blink now. Like, Navi's at the point where they all need 4 staffs to be able to survive these initiations. Because as long as Roger Hook and Power Cog somebody, I feel like there's going to be a team fight follow-up that's going to lead to them losing the fight. Navi's in a dangerous place right now, especially Death Prophet doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He's about to pick it up. He doesn't have a BKB. He's got to play these fights so carefully. He could definitely get bursted. I
don't even know how they actually play these fights. Like, you now have the BKB as well as the Manta on both Juggernaut and the Seth. So anyone you initiate in on has to be instantly stunned and then chain stunned without the support from Virtus.pro arriving, which is going to arrive anyway because you got Blink Force Yules. You got other ways to get out, force off an AA. It's just saying, like, they can kite Na'Vi if Na'Vi initiate. But Na'Vi can't initiate because, well, they don't have the items for it.
They can. It just has to be not a 5v5 team fight. Because that's why Slaughter was looking around for kills with the Lifestealer inside of him. Because if they do find those kills, it's okay. What the funny part is that if VP just sits on their base like they did in that brief moment, then it's overall worse for Na'Vi anyways, because then Lifestealer isn't farming.
Yep.
He's still doing well on net worth. He's within striking range of Shadow Fiend, but he's getting kind of far away from Jug. Jug's almost got a full item ahead of him. Luckily, he spends it on a BKB, so it's not really an item that Lifestealer cares that much about.
Yeah.
But as he gets his follow-up item after this, and if he does keep this gap a big separation here, then Lifestealer's gonna have to be careful.
That's why Crystallize, just great survivability that will still come from him. Having even just the base increase that comes from the SMY as well as the armlet. Pasha, they're chasing into the trees. Rage TP out for Crystallize. LeBron in the little nook will also escape. I'm not quite certain why Dendy and Lil are still hanging around when the rest of the teammates already bailed out.
Maybe hoping for like an overextending solo hero perhaps, but...
Oh, there's your jump. Yule's on Dendy. The Burrow Strike follow-up. Ice Blast is coming in. Dendy only just got this Bloodstone. He'll deny himself with it, but down to 9 charges.
Perfect timing to get that Bloodstone, Toby.
I thought that's the worst timing to get the Bloodstone.
He also could have just not been there. I mean, giving gold to your opponents, maybe it doesn't matter, but he's only dead for a very short period of time. I'm not sold on his build just yet. I don't know if Bloodstone's the way to go, but General's looking around at enemy heroes here.
He actually body blocked Roger for half a second.
He pinged the ground. I think he might have realized, surprisingly. Yeah, they just saw him blink away, I believe.
Roshan's up for Virtus.pro. I say for Virtus.pro because unless Na'Vi have any desire to leave their base,
oh, I'm sure they do.
Maybe they do.
But can they?
Desire, yes, but smoke, no.
Do they feel comfortable is more like...
Pasha's just standing on the high ground. Even if they did want to smoke over, they won't get there in time. So both Aegis and Cheese will belong to Virtus.pro.
The positioning that they're setting up here to protect against like smoke ganks where Na'Vi can leave their base are so good. Set Pasha on a cliff, set Roger a little bit closer to Roche in case they come a different way that Pasha wasn't near, and it just kind of protects them from everything. Hurricane Pike is finished for Shadow Fiend now, even more survivable. Overall his damage is not great, but that's all that they need right now. They've got enough gold advantage that, and they know the Juggernaut has items that kind of cover both bases. They're just pretty much safe.
They can have enough damage, especially when Juggernaut finishes up his Nullifier.
It's actually surprisingly a decent damage item. I always look at it and I'm like, wow, it gives you a whole 5 more damage. But there's not a lot of items that give you raw damage anymore, actually.
Not unless you want to have the risk of the Rapier.
I guess a Butterfly's way better damage-wise.
For Crush. Hello, Pasha. Goodbye, Pasha.
But they've been looking for something like that for a long time. Finally get a kill. 478 gold going to the kill gatherer, however you want to call him.
Hilarious thing is, like, he's 1-1-12. That's actually his first death of the game. It took half an hour for Pasha to die.
I'm not surprised, man. Again, Sandstorm. Like, how do you beat it? But it's more like finally somebody on VP was solo enough for long enough, or Na'Vi predicted him. Like, when you get to really high levels, it's actually very difficult to get ganks off because the amount of times that you feel comfortable pushing a lane in vision, it's not long. It's like, I can kill 1, maybe 2 creep waves, and if your opponent anticipates you even going there in the first place, you die. So the fact that VP was even able to stay alive this long against this Slardar combo is amazing. Just really good skill by them. But if Na'Vi can keep getting pickups like that, it certainly can lead them in a really good direction. Even a hero like Shadow Fiend has to be slightly worried, especially if it's 3. If it's something like Slardar plus Lifestealer plus Lina, any hero could die on VP's side.
These observers and sentries from Virtus.pro are in exactly the right position. They see Na'Vi coming from a mile away. Lil will see solo for half a second. Clockwork Rocket, Hawkshot does come out. They need an extra way out of this one. Then Lil, well, pushed back by the Cogs. The cold feet combination is not that right. Ice Blast, however, it's... Oh, Lil! He gets the blink, the safety wall of LeBron.
Boy, did he
and everyone else is TPing out. That's such a waste of time now for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, it was a really good try, though. Really perfectly played by Roger. Oh, maybe he's gonna get caught after a
Oh, they're Lil!
Okay, rematch, dude.
Styling!
Dude, Lil is just... Okay, sorry, that wasn't Roger. It wasn't as drama-filled.
It was Pasha. Still his former teammates he's dodging.
Yeah, he keeps barely exiting these little ganks that look like sure death for Lil. So nice plays by him. But both teams playing it perfectly. Roger chasing, instantly identifies the Force Staff, doesn't get Cog.
This has to be so juicy. There we go, Pasha, Epicenter, and Burrow Strike. Now he will get the kill. Now he will get the nullifier. No. Lil, the untouchable.
How does he do this? He's still alive.
No, he's just good. LeBron,
he doesn't have a TP,
they get the summon to the Shadow Beam. Remember, he's still got the BKB. Ramsey's going to use this a bit nice and early. Damn, he takes so much damage. Aegis Immortal is still there for Ramses, but they don't have the epicenter effect that can come from the SK. So Ramses back in, Blink Burrow onto Dendy. Omni Flash so quick, so efficient. Dendy gets deleted. You can get a 4-man silence from General, but it won't stop them from just standing the ground. There's still Mantis, there's still BKBs for Ramses and no one. And Na'Vi, is buyback or not? While miming great, the Lil survived. The rest of his team will not. It's taken him so long to get back down this bottom lane. Revenge is there with the Death of the Ancient Apparition, but without Death Prophet, without his effect, they don't have enough control. But Lil, the 3-man crush. They're after him under the tier 4 tower. Maybe finally Lil can die. No, of course he won't. He'll go back to the fountain. The bottom racks his toast. And Virtus.pro will retreat.
Very well done by VP, but Na'Vi was not on the fighting grounds he needed to take that fight. Lil avoided all his ganks, but he ran so far west, and his TP had already been interrupted. So he wasn't even able to make it to that fight. It was basically Na'Vi by themselves. And then what happens is, Ramses just wins the whole engagement with his nullifier in 2 instances. He drops an Omni Slash on Dendy, uses the nullifier to prevent the Force Staff that could save him, and Lil's not there to force him.
There you go, you can watch it again. Oh, we get to watch it, okay.
Oh. I mean, Pasha has to guess there. Either direction is the way to go, but I mean, Ramses made big plays there. Nullifier as well guarantees the Death Prophet kill was the other big one. Nullifies the Death Prophet. Death Prophet can't use Eul's Scepter. Just instantly goes down, and they guaranteed the 2-Rex because of that. Just really well done by Na'Vi. Or by VP, excuse me.
Well, we come back live now as VP, 5-man smoke. Looking for their target. Hey, Dendy, 6 Bloodstone charges is too many for you. Nullified up, no way to escape, no way to force off. Wait, hang on.
That's the worst, dude. Prevent the suicide? I never thought about that. The Bloodstone counter, dude, it's nullifier. Who knew? I never thought about that before.
There's a problem. LeBron actually disconnected, and he is well ready for death.
Well, he didn't disconnect yet. He just knows he's about to die. He's like, I'll live in this world a little bit longer. I mean, these 2 heroes dying right in a row is a terrible state for them to be in. Maybe this was some lag stuff. It would be pretty unfortunate. He looks so dead.
Yeah,
so dead.
He does not survive this.
He's got an ulti or something.
No, he just dies. Dendy now will use his buyback. He didn't use it before, but on bottom lane, they go again down towards the Death Prophet. They're burning so many of these Spirit Vessel charges, but at the rate that VP are finding kills, you're getting back.
I mean, they're going to try to defend against this. It's so hard, though.
They need Disrupt Storm. But then again, can they? Blink, Burrow, Dendy, once again, the Blink Crush doesn't do anything. Ramsey just BKBs, Lil's brought down, and this should actually be the game. With the Omni Slash going through Crystallize, they can isolate him out, and he infests. He's in one of the range